Have you ever wondered why some little touches during intimacy completely change the experience for your partner? Sometimes it's not about doing more, it's about doing something different, something unexpected, something that catches her off guard in the sweetest way. Today, I want to share with you a secret move that many people overlook, yet it has the power to deepen intimacy and make the moment unforgettable. Stay with me till the end, because I'll reveal not just the what, but the why, and how you can do it with love, respect, and confidence. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more relationship insights, and share it with someone who deserves to know the truth about unforgettable intimacy. Have you ever noticed how sometimes it's not the grand gestures, not the long hours, not even the routine ways of showing love that leave the deepest imprint on someone's heart? It's the unexpected. It's that little shift, that small surprise, that single spark in the middle of what feels familiar that suddenly changes everything. Think about it. When was the last time you felt jolted awake by someone's touch? Not because it was overwhelming, but because it was different. You see, the body remembers novelty, the heart and mind cling to it, and this is where intimacy becomes so much more than repetition. It becomes exploration. Imagine a moment when everything feels predictable, the rhythm, the pace, the flow. You're moving with her and she's with you, comfortable, maybe even a little too comfortable. Now imagine, instead of continuing on the same track, you give her a touch she wasn't expecting. Not forceful, not rushed, but slow, teasing, deliberate. Suddenly, her breath changes, her body pauses. She looks back, even if only with her breath. In that moment, you've taken her out of autopilot and into awareness. That's the secret of unforgettable intimacy, breaking the pattern with care. Let me tell you a story. There was once a man who loved routine. He believed consistency was the way to keep love alive. He thought if he gave his partner the same kind of attention, the same kind of affection, night after night, it would be proof of his reliability, his devotion. And at first, she loved it, because consistency is safe and safety is important. But slowly, she began to drift, not because he loved her less, but because his rhythm had no surprises left. She knew exactly what would come next, and the body doesn't ignite with what it can predict too easily. Then, one evening, something shifted. In the middle of what felt like the same old flow, he tried something new. A touch in a place he never lingered before. A pause where she didn't expect one. A pressure that was both gentle and bold. And in that instant, it was as though a flame had reignited. She gasped, she leaned into him, and she said later, with a laugh, "It felt like you woke me up from a dream." That's the power of the unexpected. It shocks the senses awake. It reminds the body that passion is still alive, and it makes the mind record the memory. Why does this happen? Because the brain and the body are designed to crave novelty. We chase what feels different, we remember what feels unusual, and when someone we love introduces that unexpected element, it doesn't just excite us, it bonds us closer to them. Think about your own memories of intimacy. Do you remember every single night, or do you remember the moments when something happened that surprised you? Maybe a whisper you didn't expect, maybe laughter in the middle of passion, maybe a touch that made you suddenly feel alive in a way you hadn't felt before. Those are the ones that stick. Now, here's the thing. The unexpected doesn't need to be wild, and it doesn't need to be outrageous. It just needs to be thoughtful, because the most powerful surprises are not about doing something reckless. They are about doing something intentional. When you touch her in a way that says, "I'm paying attention to you," she feels it. When you break the rhythm, not for your sake, but for hers, she knows it. And when she knows you are tuned in, she remembers you not just as a partner in the moment, but as the one who woke her body up when she didn't even realize it was asleep. There's also something deeply psychological about this. When intimacy becomes routine, the brain stops releasing as much dopamine, the chemical of excitement and reward. But introduce something new. whether it's a new touch, a new word, or a new pace, and suddenly dopamine floods back in. She feels excitement again, not because you became someone different, but because you became someone unpredictable in the best way. And unpredictability, when handled with care, is intoxicating. I want you to imagine this for a second. She's with you, caught in the rhythm, and everything feels like it has a pattern. Her body is following, her mind is drifting, and then, without warning, you shift. Your hand moves to a place she didn't expect. You linger there, maybe you pause, maybe you tease. She didn't see it coming, and now her body reacts, her heart races, her breath changes. Suddenly she's pulled back into the present moment, fully aware of you, fully alive in the experience. That single unexpected touch has transformed routine into memory. But here's where it becomes truly powerful. When you learn the art of surprising her with touch, you teach her body that you are not predictable. You become the one she can't anticipate, the one who always has a way of catching her off guard in the sweetest way. And because of that, she doesn't just feel passion with you. She feels curiosity. She begins to wonder, what will he do next? And when curiosity is alive in intimacy, passion never dies. Of course, this comes with responsibility. Surprise should never be about shock for the sake of shock. It should never be about doing something to dominate or unsettle her. No, the true power of unexpected touch is that it communicates. I see you. I know you. And I want to awaken something in you that even you may have forgotten was there. It is both playful and respectful. It is both daring and gentle, and when you strike that balance, you create not just a physical reaction, but an emotional bond. Think back to when you first fell in love with someone. Every touch felt new. Every kiss was a discovery. Every moment carried curiosity. That's why the beginning always feels so electric. It's filled with novelty. But relationships that last know how to keep novelty alive, not by constantly changing partners, but by constantly discovering new ways to touch, to connect, to surprise. And so, the secret is simple. Never let intimacy fall completely into routine. Always keep a part of her guessing. Give her safety, yes, but within that safety, give her the thrill of surprise. Touch her where she doesn't expect. Pause when she thinks you'll move faster. Move when she thinks you'll pause. Let her body learn that with you, intimacy is never just repetition. It's always exploration. Because at the end of the day, she won't remember every single time you loved her, but she will remember the times you woke her up with something new. She will remember the unexpected touches, the ones that caught her off guard, the ones that made her body say, yes, this is different, this is alive, this is unforgettable. And when she remembers those, she remembers you. Not just as a lover, but as the one who turned routine into magic. Have you ever wondered why some people, no matter what they do, always leave their partners glowing after intimacy, while others can do the very same things but somehow fall flat? The difference isn't always in skill. It isn't always in the move itself. Sometimes it's in something so subtle, so overlooked, yet so powerful. It's in how safe, seen, and respected she feels before, during, and after. Because no matter how exciting or daring you want to be, nothing unlocks deeper passion more than the foundation of trust. You see, intimacy without communication is like trying to dance without music. You might get the steps right, but the rhythm won't connect. And without connection, passion loses its spark. Let me tell you a story. There was a man who prided himself on being adventurous. He thought that trying new things, surprising his partner with bold moves, was what kept the fire alive. And sometimes it worked. She laughed, she enjoyed it. But other times she stiffened, she froze, she pulled away, not because she didn't love him, but because she wasn't ready for that surprise. He never asked. He never checked in. And slowly, instead of associating intimacy with joy, she began to carry tension into it, wondering what might come next, fearing that she might be pushed beyond her comfort. Now contrast this with another man. He too loved adventure, but his secret was different. He asked, not always directly, not always with words in the moment, but with gentle cues. He'd whisper, "Do you like this?" He'd watch her breath, her body language, her signals. And before introducing something new, he'd lay the groundwork, not in a way that killed the mystery, but in a way that told her, "You are safe with me." And because she felt safe, she didn't resist. In fact, she leaned in. She allowed herself to open, to explore, to surrender, and that is the difference communication makes. It turns what could feel invasive into something deeply welcomed. So many people think communication ruins the spark. They imagine it's unsexy to ask questions, to seek permission, to check in. But the truth is, communication done right is the sexiest thing of all, because it says, "I care about your experience as much as mine." It says, "Your pleasure matters to me." And when a woman feels that her pleasure matters, she lets go. She stops holding back. She stops performing, stops pretending, and instead allows herself to truly enjoy. That's when intimacy goes from physical to unforgettable. Think about it. If she is tense, if she is unsure, if she is silently questioning whether she likes what's happening, then no matter how technically skilled you are, her body won't respond the same way. But if she knows, deep in her bones, that you won't cross her boundaries without her invitation, her body relaxes. And when she relaxes, she feels more, she enjoys more, she remembers more, and communication isn't always about heavy conversations in the middle of the act. Sometimes it's about the little things, the way you look at her and pause, giving her a chance to nod or shake her head. The way you whisper, "Tell me if this feels good." The way you ask after, "What did you like most?" These small moments of checking in build a language between the two of you. They create a bond where she doesn't just feel touched. She feels heard, and being heard is one of the deepest forms of intimacy there is. Let me tell you something powerful. Women often carry unspoken fears into intimacy. Fears of being judged, fears of being rushed, fears of being pressured into things they don't fully enjoy. And when those fears exist, they act like walls. You can try to climb them, but it will always take effort. Or you can dissolve them with communication. When she realizes you won't judge her for her desires, when she sees you'll listen when she says no, when she feels you're willing to move at her pace, those walls crumble. And in their place grows freedom. She becomes playful. She becomes daring. She becomes curious, not because you forced it, but because you invited it. That's the secret of consent. It isn't just about avoiding mistakes. It's about unlocking pleasure that would have stayed hidden otherwise. It's about showing her that you respect her body and her mind. And respect, when combined with desire, is intoxicating. It makes her want to give more because she knows it's safe. It makes her want to say yes because she knows she can say no. Now imagine this, you're with her and you want to try something new, something she hasn't experienced before. You don't just dive in, instead you lean close and in a low voice you tease, "I want to try something different with you. Are you ready for that? Do you see what you've done?" You've turned communication into foreplay. You've made the asking part of the excitement. Instead of killing the mood, you've built anticipation. She doesn't feel ambushed. She feels chosen, included, part of the secret. And because she feels that, she's more likely to embrace what comes next with curiosity instead of hesitation. That's what most men miss. Communication doesn't mean pausing the intimacy to have a dry discussion. It means weaving words and signals into the moment, making her feel involved, desired, respected. It means creating an environment where she doesn't just accept what you do, she craves it, because it's not happening to her, it's happening with her. And let's not forget, communication is not just about speaking, it's about listening, listening with your ears, yes, but also with your eyes, with your hands, with your awareness. Her body will tell you things her words may never say. The way she arches into you or pulls slightly back, the way her breath deepens or halts, the way her muscles tense or soften. If you pay attention, if you listen with all of yourself, you'll know more than words could ever tell you. And when she realizes you are that tuned in, she will trust you more deeply than ever before. At the heart of it all, intimacy is not just about what you do, it's about how you make her feel. And nothing makes a woman feel more desired, more cherished, more open, than knowing she has the freedom to guide the experience, to say yes or no, to be heard and seen. That's the kind of intimacy she never forgets, not just because of what happened, but because of how you made her feel inside. So remember this. Boldness without consent is reckless, but boldness built on communication is unforgettable. Surprises without trust can feel invasive, but surprises wrapped in safety feel like gifts. And if you want to be the kind of man she never forgets, don't just learn new moves. Learn to ask, to listen, to tune in. Because when she knows you respect her boundaries, she will open doors you never knew existed. And in those doors lie the kind of intimacy that isn't just about tonight. It's about forever. Have you ever noticed how the most unforgettable moments in love are often the ones filled with laughter, teasing, and play? Think about it. Those moments when passion and joy blend together, when you both stop worrying about how you look or sound and simply let go, those are the memories that stay etched forever. Passion doesn't always have to be serious, intense, or heavy. Sometimes it's the light-hearted, playful energy that makes intimacy so powerful, because it keeps everything fresh, exciting, and alive. Let me take you into a story. Imagine a couple who has been together for years. Their love is strong, but routine has crept in. The nights feel predictable, the rhythm too familiar. He touches her the way he always has. She responds the way she always does. Nothing is wrong, but nothing is magical either. Then one evening, instead of following the usual script, he decides to be playful. He teases her with a mischievous smile, whispers something daring in her ear, and laughs as she blushes. He doesn't rush. He doesn't push. He simply turns the night into a game of discovery, and suddenly the spark returns. She feels like she's with the same man she fell in love with, only more fun, more adventurous, more alive. That's the power of playfulness. It awakens what routine puts to sleep. So many people think passion has to be serious, that it must be intense, almost heavy. But here's the secret. When you add laughter, teasing, curiosity, and lightness into the mix, passion grows deeper, not weaker. Because play removes pressure. When you're playful, you're not performing, you're not trying to prove yourself, you're simply enjoying the moment. And when she feels that freedom radiating from you, she mirrors it. She lets go of her own fears, her self-consciousness, her need to be perfect. Instead, she joins you in the game. That's when intimacy stops being just physical. It becomes joyful, unforgettable, almost addictive. Have you ever noticed how kids play? They don't overthink. They don't ask, "Am I doing it right?" They just throw themselves into the moment with pure presence. That's exactly what playfulness in intimacy does. It brings you both back to that same state of freedom. Instead of worrying about lasting longer, looking perfect, or doing the right move, you're simply there, alive, connected, exploring each other like it's the first time. And that freshness is what keeps the fire alive no matter how many years go by. I remember hearing about a woman who said the most unforgettable night of her life wasn't the most romantic dinner or the most technically perfect intimacy. It was the night her partner made her laugh so hard between kisses that she nearly cried. The night he chased her playfully around the room, the night they collapsed into each other giggling before making love. She said, "That's when I knew I was truly safe, truly seen, because he didn't just want my body, he wanted my joy." That's the kind of memory that never fades. Playfulness also makes exploration possible. When you're playful, trying something new isn't scary, it's exciting. Maybe it's a new position, maybe it's a gentle surprise, maybe it's a whispered fantasy. When it's approached with play, it doesn't feel like pressure, it feels like fun. She's not afraid to say no, because she knows you'll laugh it off and keep going. And she's more likely to say yes, because she feels like you're in it together, as partners, not as performers. That's how couples discover deeper sides of themselves, by turning intimacy into an adventure instead of a checklist. But here's the key: playfulness isn't about being careless, it's about being light. It's about creating an environment where mistakes don't feel like failures, but like part of the fun. Maybe you trip, maybe something awkward happens, maybe you both burst out laughing, and instead of it ruining the moment, it makes the moment. Because now you've shared something real, something human, something no one else could share in exactly the same way. That's intimacy at its purest, not perfection but presence. When a woman feels this energy from you, she doesn't just open up physically, she opens up emotionally. She associates you with joy, not stress. She looks forward to being with you, not out of obligation, but out of excitement. She knows that with you, every time will feel different, fresh, full of surprises. And when you give her that, you become unforgettable, not because of a single move, but because of the way you make her feel every time. Think about it. The moments you remember most in life are rarely the polished ones. They're the ones where you tripped but laughed, where you got caught in the rain and kissed anyway, where something went wrong, but it turned into something magical. Intimacy works the same way. The nights where you both laughed, teased, played, those will be the ones she carries with her forever. And that memory of freedom, joy, and passion will always bring her back to you. Now here's where it gets even more powerful. Playfulness builds anticipation. It stretches out the passion. When you tease her, when you delay, when you make it a game, you build tension. And that tension, when finally released, is explosive. It's the difference between rushing into something and savoring it like the sweetest secret. And when you're playful, the anticipation doesn't feel like waiting. It feels like foreplay. It makes her heart race, her breath quicken, her desire grow stronger with every moment. But maybe the greatest gift of playfulness is this: it makes her feel like she can be herself. No masks, no performance, no pretending. Just her in her purest form, laughing, moaning, blushing, exploring. And when a woman feels that free, she doesn't just give you her body, she gives you her soul. That's why playfulness isn't a small detail, it's the heart of unforgettable intimacy. So, if you truly want to be the man she never forgets, don't just focus on the big moves. Focus on the little sparks, the teasing smile, the whispered joke, the laughter between kisses, the way you turn the whole night into an adventure. Because long after the details fade, she won't remember the exact moves, but she will remember the way you made her feel. Light, alive, joyful, and deeply, passionately connected. And that, more than anything, is what will make her crave you, remember you, and never let you go.